people do this for hours, days, weeks, being in this heightened mental state where everything else shuts off in their mind and it's just about pleasure.
Zipper Magazine.
I first discovered gooning myself, I would say back in 2019. That's when I started seeing like more videos, more of my coworkers saying it more, putting it in their videos, and I was like, what is this? I'm Goddess Rosie Reed. I am talking with Zipper Magazine about kink and gooning. It's not so much edging or just having a regular kind of feel-good session, but it's something more intense, something more prolonged. You're getting to this heightened state where your mind goes totally blank. You're just feeling what you're doing. And that's the state you're in. And you don't want it to end, so you don't want to climax. You just want to stay in this state and constantly keep pleasuring yourself for hours at a time, usually, while being stimulated by clips or, other material you may have. Gooning in itself doesn't necessarily have to include humiliation. There's different ways you can do it, and it's not just for men. Women do it as well, and trans people do it, and all different types of colors and shapes of people do this. It could be soft and sensual. It could be done without any kind of external stimulation. You can just use your imagination. For me, yes, there's going to be some humiliation because that's just me. But you don't have to take that route. It could just be something, like I said, you could do it by yourself. Some people, they do it with other people. They do it in groups. So you could do it with someone online, even. I was quite surprised to find out that there are vast amounts of communities around gooning. They talk about techniques. They have certain products they use. There's even these things called Airbnb baits, which was very interesting to me. It's basically where people get together and, they rent a place and all they do is just goon together for the weekend. It could be a weekend, maybe a week, I don't know. There's gooncaves. People dedicate whole rooms to just gooning. They'll have like multiple screens. I find it interesting that people do this for hours, days, weeks, being in this heightened mental state where everything else shuts off in their mind and it's just about pleasure. And that in itself is very interesting, to where you get to that point where you're just not thinking about anything else and all you're doing is just feeling what you're doing. I think gooning is attractive because it's kind of like the O without the finish. So you are in that state that you feel when you get an O, but for a long period of time. And that in itself, I feel, can be addictive, to constantly feel that rush of bliss through hours at a time. And also I feel like it could be a big stress reliever because you're not thinking about everyday life. And I believe during 2020, there was a lot of stressful events. Now we're not interacting like we used to. We can't go anywhere. You're scared because all the disinformation out there. This is a time where you can totally focus on yourself. You could be in tune with your body. So I feel like content plays a big part in gooning, because when it comes specifically to femdom POV, I find a lot of gooners, they like loops over and over again, or they like the clip imagery to constantly be going over and over again. It could be the same thing. It doesn't have to necessarily be different. I believe what that does is you're able to get in easier into this trance kind of mindset with spicy videos. When they're gooning, it's like they can focus on gooning to the point where they get into that, what they like to say, flow state. And then you have this spicy clip that is constantly looping, showing these different images. And mind you, some gooners, they'll have like 8 screens. So they'll be looking at something over there and then they'll turn their eyes. But the loops help because they're usually longer videos, usually an hour. Also with the loop, you can start it all over again and it's like, it can become a never ending kind of cycle. So that's where the time aspect comes in, where they're doing it for hours at a time. Because I believe you have to do it for hours at a time to get to that orgasmic bliss. There'll be specific lubes they'll use that will continuously give them that slip. So you never get dry, because that's not something you want, because it will break your concentration, so to speak. There's even this face cream that I discovered they use specifically for gooning. Some gooners, they love to use different types of toys. Some like to use additives or enhancements to get them in that trance-like state faster. Just don't get yourself too close to where you're about to release, but just use it to gently enhance the feeling. Find other people that you could talk to that understand where you're coming from, that have experience in this, because you don't have to be alone. Talk to a spicy professional. We can set you on the right path so you don't feel like you're in this box where you're the weirdo, because you're not the weirdo. There's plenty of people that enjoy these things. Learning is essential too. Learning more about your kinks and what you like and how to do them properly. You don't have to be trapped in your mind thinking that you're some kind of evil deviant, because you're not. Sexuality is part of being a human. It's, why we're all here in the first place. So I hope you learned a little bit more about gooning. And if you're not doing it already, well, you know what you have to do now. Thank you so much, Zipper Magazine. I had a blast. Thank you.
Real kink for real people. Brought to you by Sunny Megatron and Clips for Sale.